Simple act of craving that which we cannot yet consume. To defeat Kitava is to squeeze the very heart of human nature into stillness. You don't think you can do that? I suppose we'll see, won't we? Farewell.
I don't ask this in the name of innocence. He understands now the folly his devotees have wrought upon this world. I ask in the name of Oriath. There are many that deserve what Kitava offers, and there are many more who do not. Put an end to Kitava's savage reign, for there remains much in this land that is worth saving. Innocence blesses your journey.
Damn, I was really hoping I would, succeed. And I'm also really annoyed. I still haven't found a fucking map thing yet. It just keeps showing World Part 1 and this bit. I can't visit her in a map. Personal map device or in the temporal laboratory. There is neither. I might have to leave that till later. Maybe I'll, maybe I'll lock it later on. Anyway. Ooh, who's she? Few aristocrats. Like a few civilians, the ones I didn't murder. Oh, sorry, who said that?
I'm Captain Lily Roth, and we sail for Rayclast. Better to live in exile than die on this psychotic bonfire of an island. You want to make it out of here, you better get on board. But make it quick, 'cause I ain't got time for tears and regrets.
Friendly sort. Sail to Rayclast.
Remember, this ain't no charity run. You owe me. Cast off!
Yeah, and I'll pay you back by killing a fucking god. Ooh, few people have died here.
Alright, we're safe for the time being. Now let me introduce myself properly. Lily Roth. Yep, I'm one of those Roths.
Which Roths?
Some call me smuggler, others pirate. Yeah, I prefer the sound of nautical entrepreneur. Came up with that one myself. So you come see Lily if you need something, or even if you just fancy a good chat with a lovely lady. Don't think I'd be forgetting that favour you owes me. In fact, now I think of it, there's certainly a way you can be repaying this most considerable debt. You see, those blasted cultists have been plundering the refugee ships trying to escape Oriath. And if not for my incomparable skill as a sea captain, we'd have met the same fate. But now the drowned dead are washing ashore, and they ain't staying dead. There's been a whole lot of blood, sweat and tears getting these few lucky survivors here in one piece. What sort of captain would I be if I let them get ripped apart by walking corpses? Wipe the Twilight Strand clean of those filthy undead bastards and I'll call us even. Might even throw in a little something extra if you can pull it off.
I really don't like her voice. Really don't.
Whalem Roth. Here, let me share something I remember from your granddad's stories. No sooner had the others turned in fear from the Great White, Leviathan, did Whalem load the ballista with his final harpoon. And right then he vowed to sea and sky that he, and he alone, would be the one to finally kill this bastard son of the Brine King. The ballista fired and the harpoon smote that creature right between the ribs as it made to dive back under the angry sea. Thick clouds of blood bloomed beneath the waves, roses flowering in the black water, and impossible though it seemed, the already shadowed ocean grew darker still. He used the bones of the great beast to reinforce the hull of his ship, the Black Crest. Old Rottooth, he's a true legend, a real pirate hero. I can only hope one day my own stories will reach his ears and make him proud of the granddaughter he had to leave behind.
I wonder why he had to leave them behind. Also these two.
Yeah, I knew Tarkley, if you catch me drift.
Yeah.
He's got no time for his old bunkmate these days, though. Too gaga-eyed over his lost cause of a fishwife, Nessa.
Oh?
Time was, Tarkley and I would smuggle all about the coast of Oriath. Good days they was. Sweet with rum, nothing but the wind and salt in our faces, freedom in our hearts, and the law on our tails. But I could tell he were getting ready to make feet for children's stockings with me, so I cut him loose. Not a spark's chance under the ocean the dreaded Lily Roth's gonna wind up swelling like some drowned carcass. Still, nice to work with that bugger one more time, just for old time's sake, you know?
Wonder what's up with her.
That scallywag. I reckon Bestel thinks I'd be the kind of lass who'll bed down with any sort of rascal. Not too far off, I guess. He is rather sweet, but not the most comely of figures. Actually, he kind of reminds me of my grandfather, Waylon Roth, a poet and scoundrel extraordinaire he be. Bestel's but spittle from the mouth of old rot-toothed Roth. Ahem. Bust my blind cheek, said the sailor to the doxy. She sports her dairy treats afar and relishes her moxie. But a fire ship will sink the broken neath the ocean waves. Tip nutmegs a deadly token, sends captains to their graves.
I have no idea what the last two lines mean. The other two is, she's got a fine rack.
Don't think I'd be forgetting that favour you owes me.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a fan of her voice, or the accent, or the voice, or the voice actor. I'm not sure what it is. It just, there's something about it just doesn't sit right. Everyone else is better, just something about her.
Despite your best efforts, Beast Slayer, a splinter of hope remains. The very seed that brought my beast into existence. The Dark Ember. Never again shall it birth a life so magnificent as the beast. Yet a residue of that power still lingers. Enough to give us a fighting chance against the ravenous Kitava. How do we obtain this Dark Ember? 3 hearts were silenced. 3 hearts must sing again, one last time. In that final flickering of life, our Savior's seed shall be born. All I need are 3 fine souls with which to stoke the flames. Chevron of Umbra, Inquisitor Maligaro, Doldre the Dark Tongue. 3 spirits of near unfathomable resilience and vigor, freed with the beast's final exhalation. So let us begin the harvest. Chevron has come home to Exile. We shall give her the warm welcome she sincerely deserves.
He created the beast? And he seems a little... It seems a little miffed that we killed his creation. But really, what choice do we have if we're to free the place from the beast?
If she is to be of any use to us, the Umbra's spirit must be wrenched from her mortal manifestation and lashed to our greater cause. That is your task. For my part, I shall negotiate the terms of her cooperation. With a tragic kiss and lasting embrace, her essence shall pass into me as if she were a sweet breath from the mouth of my lover. It is a sacrosanct sacrifice for all involved. Thankfully for you, all I ask is that you do what you clearly do best. Kill.
You know, he really doesn't seem to be my biggest fan.
Ambition is the bane of mortality. It was through ambition that we gods transcended the thick mud and thin blood of our mundane birthrights. Ambition that drove us to sustain our divine selves through the subjugation of others. Chevron's soul is made up of 1 part ambition and 2 parts raw, unbounded passion. Such a volatile spark shall burn briefly and brightly, in even the most deadened of hearts. I shall put this simply, for in truth, everything comes down to the simple act of planting a seed in the ground. The gods are rising because you slew the one creature that prevented them from doing so. Your name for it is the Beast. It was I who planted the seed in the rich soil beneath Highgate, who nurtured it, who watched it bloom into maturity, even as I succumbed to its mollifying powers. We gods, we were driven into slumbering darkness, to dream away eternity whilst the gentle beast watched over us. I would desire that we return to that blissful state, but my brothers and sisters of deism shall never submit to banishment. They have tasted freedom once more, and they shall not let go of this world until it is pried from their cold, dead hands.
I've only heard deism used in one other way. I I think he's pronounced it slightly differently, so it might be a slightly different word. But there's there's atheism, lack of belief in the deity, theism, and polytheism is a follow-up, where you believe in a god and it's a personal god. Deism is a belief that there is a god who created everything, but then fucked off and is like masturbating over in the corner somewhere eating Cheetos. Not the exact phrasing, but yeah, basically it created everything that pissed off. I like that one just purely because I get to phrase it funnily like that.
The beast was never a cruel master. It didn't want to destroy, to corrupt, to terrorize. It simply existed to exist. I made it that way. Unfortunately, in neglecting to provide it with ambition, I made it vulnerable to the ambitions of others. Queen Atziri and Doriani, Emperor Chittus and Malachi. Others even before them. I created a beast that would free humanity from the tyranny of the gods. And all I really did was provide the perfect tool with which humanity could tyrannize itself.
You know what? Sin's a good guy. Sin's a good guy. Palnai's watch. The shivering tides bring little hope, only despair and desperation. And we're in Act 2. Cold, dank, and reeking of infection. That's how hope fares in Raycast. So this has all changed. She's gone. Vestal.
Now there's a pair of eyes I could never forget. If the tales are true, those peepers of yours have seen all the wonders of Raycast by now. And a few things they likely wish they hadn't. Oh, and no need for us to speak of Oriath. My ears are brimful with the sorrows these wretched companions of yours have been spilling. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that Lion Eyes Watch has seen better days. Our once bubbling township has, alas, become a brooding quagmire of gloom and despair. I blame the unrelenting weather. As you know, I am both a humanitarian and a strong believer in the soul-sustaining power of story. Back when I was still captain of the Merry Gull, many days at sea afforded me time to work on my thespian aspirations. I wrote a theatrical epic, a one-man show entitled Cedric and the Buxom Stranger. I sealed the manuscript inside a roll of oiled leather and stashed it in the hole for safekeeping. Perhaps you could salvage it for me from that tidal island upon which my poor ship came to rest. Who knows? Maybe we can bring some joy back to Lion Eyes Watch with a bit of live entertainment.
I can't wait.
Now there's a sorry tale. More miserable than any dirge I've ever heard. Nessa's gone. Wandered off into the night, muttering to herself about dancing to his ditty. No, I didn't go after her. In truth, she was gone when I woke up the next morning. I only imagined she'd be muttering, you see, on account of the murmuring she's been making these past few weeks. Always the same, about him and his song, whoever in damnation he is.
That's not sounding good. She wandered off because of some voice. Innocence, anyone?
Bloody Roth, granddaughter of the legendary Rocktooth Roth. Oh, apologies if I seem a little giddy. It's not any old day you get to meet marine royalty. I mean, you know how I feel about pirates and all, but the Roths have as much in common with those scurvy sea rats as a shark does with a goldfish. Lily has her granddaddy's blood in her veins. It's plain for all to see. Look at the luster in her eyes, the ruddy blush of her skin. That there's a pirate princess, and no mistake.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we live in curious times indeed. A time when old stories are being birthed, mewling, and puking into our world of dirt. and blood. It's all a bit inspiring, really. Hence, I've written a little something. Ancient anecdotes now wake from their beds, looming in our fears, towering above our heads. Age-old lusts and bygone greeds, walking and reeking as humanity bleeds. Rivers of history, lakes of blood, the gods stand upon us as we cower in the mud.
The Brine King. And I do like his poetry.
You won't find a sailor that doesn't whisper a quiet prayer to the Brine King before casting off. In fact, under the maddening radiance of a full moon, the more superstitious captains would drown some poor slave or failed mutineer just to keep old Tsoagoth happy. No, that wasn't a sneeze. That's the fish god's old Asmerian name. It's considered foul luck to speak it on board a ship. A keel-hauling offence.
Seriously. Huh. And all the while, for the last few hundred years, it was asleep, incapable of doing that.
You'll not find a more renowned pirate as Waylem Rocktooth Roth. In times when Fairgraves was still a well-earning sea legs, Rocktooth was prowling the Strait of Oriath in his ship, the Black Crest. It's said he built it himself, lining its hull with the bones of some great sea beast he slew with nothing but a harpoon and a bottle of rum. Never was there a more nimble, more ferocious vessel. Like that Leviathan spirit still lived and breathed in its timbers. No one sighted Rocktooth for 20 years or more, but I know where the Black Crest is. The ship graveyard, no less. Seems that Waylem Roth might have had his last meal with Lady Mervale.
Interesting. May want to swing out that way. Then again, it's not here's a quest, so it might happen.
First we hear that Oriath has lost its bloody mind, and then you turn up. Doesn't take a scholar to work out how these two events might be connected. I don't know what's going on out there, and I probably wouldn't understand it if I saw it with my own two eyes. What I do know is this. The world we knew, it's gone. Now we have to do our damnedest to make sure we don't go with it. Nessa. I saw her one night, running out across the coast, headed in the direction of the mudflats. Called out to her, but she didn't even turn her head. Maybe she couldn't hear me. Maybe she didn't want to. I don't bloody know. I tried to run after her, but she'd vanished into the darkness before my feet had barely touched the sand. So I tracked her, all the way to the mudflats, and that's when her tracks, they just stopped. No sign of meeting someone or something. No sign of a struggle. It's like one moment she was running and the next, gone. Look, I've heard some things about what you've done. Things that beg a belief. Now you can do this. Please. Find Nessa. Bring her back to us.
More talking! And this is going to be actually the wrap up to the set, because I should be in bed hours ago. I need to get up early.
I wonder how much Lily squeezed out of those refugees from Oriath. Yes, she did risk her life and ship to save them. But I knew the Lily of old, a damn fine smuggler. And that Lily never did a good deed that didn't also turn a profit.
Real humanitarian. Much like the Kitava worshippers we met earlier. Actually, speaking of that, since we never took out Kitava, they're probably still wreaking havoc, eating people. Still, hopefully by the time we get back, they'll be too full to actually do anything. Could just go, bink, and they're dead. You know, with, a toothpick, they just, suddenly Melvin Underbelly all over again.
Never took much stock in the stories Lily told. Didn't sit right. Those full moon sacrifices her and her ilk would do out on the open water.
Huh.
But now, in light of everything, I'm obliged to reconsider. If it meant Nessa might be spared the attentions of that wretched Brine King, I'd even be inclined to slit a mutineering throat or two myself.
How do you know it's him? seems like it's out of